next up, we're going to talk about how to utilize those items to create recipes in Restaurant 365. Starting on our inventory tab under recipes and recipes, you're going to see a page that looks like this. Again, filtering to active items is always going to be something that is very helpful so that you don't see anything that was made previously and is obsolete at this point. You're going to notice a couple of different prefixes here for these items. You're going to see MI, which stands for a menu item. These are related directly to button pushes. These are line builds, bar builds. This is your final product that you are obtaining. And you're going to also see prep. These are going to be our prep recipes. They're going to be multi-ingredient items that are put together to create and build our menu items. It's important at any given time, if you're creating something new here, that you have the proper prefix. If it is a menu item, you are noting which store and location you are building that for as well, so that there's no confusion when it comes time to mapping these to your direct button pushes. Today, we're going to build a classic margarita straight from Donkey, which means we have to start with a prep recipe. Before you can build your entire final menu item, you are going to have recipes for all of your sub recipes, all of your prep recipes ready to go to create that final item. As you can see here, this is our prep recipe for our classic margarita mix. Prep. This is recorded by the volume as we make it in fluid ounces, and so quart is typically how they are producing that prep item. Under recipe is where you can see the yield for this specific recipe. We are going to be yielding 2 quarts, and we want the breakdown to be our portion sizes are 1 fluid ounce each, which is equivalent to 64 portions. Coming over here, this is where we're going to add all of our ingredients to make that prep recipe. If you have any sub recipes here, you'll have to continue to add them. For example, prep lime juice is noted this way because commissary juices fresh lime juice for Donkey's Margaritas. This specific prep item here is only housing the limes that are purchased for fresh squeezed lime juice and does not have the impact of any other lime purchases included in this prep recipe for the most accurate costing possible. Lime juice, simple syrup, and then we are also accommodating and accounting for all water and ice that is used in our recipes as well. This is how we're able to justify getting to our specific yield quantity. Looking through here, again, we can compare costs if you were looking at different locations, if you have access to multiple locations. As we're building this out, we're going to select our specific item, the quantity of that item, the unit of measurement of that item. Yield is always going to be 100%. If there is any reduction in yield after a cooking measurement, that'll be showcased in our final yield here, not in the yield of what goes into the recipe itself. Batch cost is showing you the cost here of the entire batch, which is our 2 quarts. Portion cost is showing you the cost of this specific item per portion. In this case, the portion is per ounce. You can see the breakdown here. We add all of these together. Now we have our prepped classic marg mix recipe. Now we're ready to create our menu item. Coming over here, now we're creating a menu item. We started with MI, location is Donkey. This is a classic glass. It is important to note that the measure type for every menu item is going to be by the each. Each button push is 1 menu item, which is the equivalent to these specific ingredients for that build. You're going to see that here again with our yield, 1 each, portion size is 1 each. Let's add our ingredients to this. When you are looking for an item to add, it is important that you are searching for that item in the order that it is listed on Restaurant 365. If it starts with a prefix, you're going to want to start with the prefix. The search function is not always as fluid when it comes to finding things if you do not put it in the correct order that it might be listed. So for example, we are going to be looking for tequila, Olmeca. We're looking for the Blanco. 2 fluid ounces goes into this, 100% yield. This is showing us our portion sizing and cost. We're going to add that. Next up, cordials. Herman Walker, Orange Carousel. We've got 1 fluid ounce that is going to go in that margarita, and add. Next up, we've got that prepped classic margarita mix. Prep, classic marg mix. In this case, it's going to be 2 fluid ounces to make 1 glass of margarita. We're going to click add. As you can see here, now that everything is updated, I click save. Looking back onto the ingredients. Now I can see the total cost. So in real time, based off of the last approved invoice for the build for the Prep Classic Marg Mix recipe and each of the individual items that went into this item, you can see our batch cost. Every single glass of classic margarita at Donkey, real time, our cost is $2.31. It may take you a few times of building these before you get the hang of it and the fluidity of it. Please make sure that you are reaching out and asking lots of questions before you move forward with saving and approving a bunch of these recipe builds in Restaurant 365, as we've just done a ton of work to clean this up to make it really user-friendly. We're happy to work side by side with you as you continue to get used to this system. The next few items that you're getting ready to cost, if you need some help, please reach out to leadership team directly.